mail from Japan. Should we open it up, see what's inside? Japanese newspapers. The prize inside is an Evernew titanium stove. Ordered direct from Japan. Learned a bit about Evernew, started in the 1920s in Tokyo, selling campware, aluminium. And in the 1990s, ventured out into titanium products. And this is their well-known DX stand to improve burn times. Looks like it comes with the little instructions in English and in Japanese. Don't think we need them. What's this? Danger warning. We know it has fire, we don't need that. It should be pretty straightforward. Looks like the top half. The stove itself. I think we flip this over. Pop the stove inside. Click that bit on. Put the flux ring in when it doesn't fall off. And I think we're good to go. But what I wanted to do was put it up against the trusty Trangia. See, is it worth the extra money? Is it worth the extra time to order it, to get it? Is it worth packing out? Is it worth using? So first of all, titanium Evernew stove on their website claims it can boil 400 millilitres of water with 30 millilitres of alcohol. So what I'm going to do is take the trusty Trangia, put 30 millilitres of bioethanol, titanium cross stand, 400 mils of room temperature water. We're going to light it and time it and see what the Trangia does it in, and then compare it to the titanium Evernew. And in interest of fairness, I burnt it in so it's had a chance to soak up the wick. It's got a little bit of the newness out of it, so we'll see whether this gets it to the boil with 30, whether this gets to the boil with 30, and will it do it in a better time than the Trangia. So quickly like this one. Try again. So fill it. Cross stand on. Give it a second. Water's on. Starting the timer. Let me just go over a couple of bits about the Trangia. Trangia costs about £12 currently in the UK. Brass with a cotton wick, and it claims to be able to boil a litre of water in 10 minutes. I know from using this in the last couple of years that that's a little bit ambitious, especially outside. There's no wind in here today. Normally I'd have a windshield around it. I would be a bit dubious about that claim. So let's see what you can do with 400 millilitres of water on 30 ml of biofuel compared to the Evernew stove. Trangia, interestingly enough, was founded not long after the Evernew company in 1925 in Sweden. And the name actually comes from the village Trange, and it was added the I and the A, which stands for in aluminium. So Trang in aluminium, you have Trangia, which is where the name comes from. One of the benefits of the Trangia is you have a screw-on cap, so you can put your fuel in there and store it in there. I used to do this until I had a spill into one of my titanium cups, and ever since then I don't bother keeping my fuel inside the Trangia. It comes with a snuff / simmer ring, which you can adjust to put over the top, close it down, it chokes up the fire and gives you a simmer. But for the purpose of boiling water, which is 95% of what I've done with it, all it does, goes over the top, snuffs out the fire. It's only got one set of jets on it, which we'll see if that's a benefit or not compared to the Evernew's 2 sets of jets. The Evernew, I'm led to believe you can actually put a pot straight on and the second set of jets will still burn, so you don't need the cross stand. However, I don't think that's as efficient. Trangia problems, or alcohol stove problems. It's actually gone out, it never even bloomed. So let's give it a second. We'll do the same with the Evernew as well. Still on. Blooming. Start. Water back on. Where was I? Trangia, weight 110 grams. That's with simmering and the screw cap. Compared to the titanium Evernew stove on its own, which is 36 grams, which is quite a hefty difference. Obviously, I've purchased it with a DX stove stand. You can use that as a twig stove. I wouldn't bother. You wasting your time, I think, using little twigs to try and warm water on that as well. You might build a big fire. The stand itself weighs 86 grams. Together, not far off the dry weight of the Trangia. However, if you have the Trangia, you've got to use a cross stand. That's titanium. And also a windshield. That's 247 grams, my current setup for the Trangia. I'm hoping that the titanium Evernew will be more efficient and be lightweight and nest. I've still yet to try that, so what we'll do is we'll find out. I'll not make you watch this, and we'll come back when either it goes out or it comes to the boil, and then we'll jump straight onto the titanium Evernew stove with the cross stand, and then we'll try it with the DX stand on and see if that speeds it up. Eight and a half minutes, the Trangia is still going, the water's rumbling, it's close to a boil. And the flame's still going. Calling that 9:30. 9:30, rolling boil, fuel left. Let's take that off. One disadvantage, if you want to snuff it out, you take the pot stand off, which is going to be hot. Better? Don't want to burn the rubber ring inside, which I probably have done. Let's put the lid on that, and then towards the end I think we'll actually see how much fuel it did use. Let's put that out of the way. Pot's cooled down, put some fresh water in it, cooled it down, it's cooled to the touch. It's not getting a head start. Titanium Evernew. £400 water, our lid, £30ml, same bioethanol, it's just the same amount as the Trangia. Again, we'll let this bloom because we had a bit of a problem lighting the Trangia. See if the Evernew takes any better. I'd say that started. Shall we let it bloom? What do you reckon? Do you think it's an unfair test if I don't let it bloom? Let me know in the comments. Still burning, you can't see the flame. We'll wait till the first jets start to come and then we'll put the water on and we'll start the timer. Right, that's definitely a bloom. Pop that on. Start. Okay, so we're interested to see if this can do it quicker and if it has any fuel left. For those that are interested, I purchased the titanium stove with a DX stand off eBay, free shipping for £53.70. I've seen it at far more extortionate prices. One website, if you just Google it and go onto the first page, it comes up with the stove at £69 and the DX stand at another £69, where you can have a combined set of a bargain, £134. But the price I've got it at, if you want to halve the £53, then it's only twice as much for the actual stove itself versus the Trangia. Does it boil twice as quick? So my plan for this is to be in my daily walking brew kit to nest hopefully inside this pot and use it to boil water for brews using the alcohol stove. I prefer the alcohol stoves because they're quieter, less noisy. I'm not in a mad rush, so the time's not a massive thing, but if you can get it down by a minute or two, that all helps. For any of those that are also interested, this is the Toaks Titanium 550 mug. Five minutes, 10 seconds in. This is really impressing me actually. This is a lot quicker. Let's have a sneaky peek like we did the last time. That's a rolling boil already. 520. Stop. That's impressive. Ah, that's hotter as well. Out of interest, let's see if we can snuff it and see how much liquid fuel there is left. This might not work. Oh, it has. Wow, that's quite impressive. Nearly half the time under the same circumstances. Genuinely quite surprised. I didn't think it would be that much difference. What I'll do is quickly weigh what's in the Trangia, what's left in the Evernew, and find out what the difference is. Put 30ml, measuring mils on the scale. Okay, that's interesting. That is 15 mils left over. Even my maths on camera will tell me that that is exactly half what we put in. So in just under 10 minutes, it used half the fuel to boil 400 ml of water. Let's compare that with the Titanium Evernew. So let's zero that again. So we're at 0. This might pour out the other holes, but we'll see. We'll hold it high enough. Oh, it's on the scales, but hey ho. Still hot, you can see the vapours. It's built a bit, but it's still on the scales and it's reading 14 mil. Bar a bit of a spill off the edge here, I'd say that's equivalent to the same amount of fuel. Is that a fair assumption? Or am I twisting it and cheating? I don't think I am. Oh, it's just changed to 15. You can't see that, I don't think, but it's just changed to 15. So that's bang on. That's really interesting. So I don't think there's any difference. Whether you'd agree with me, let me know in the comments. We can always redo it if you think I'm missing something. Right, let's get rid of this. Get this stove back in. 30 mil. Again, we'll try it with a new stand and see if we can beat 524. I think it's going to do it. I'm going to say conservatively, it's going to knock 30 seconds. Sod it. Let's go to a minute. Let's take a minute off. Let's see if it does it by 424. 524 is the time to beat. Nice and cold to the touch. No cheating going on here. Cold water. 400 mil. We're done. Let's bring this stand in. Nest that in there. We're happy that there's no extra fuel in there. Do the same again, wait for it to bloom. Same measure of fuel. See if we can pop this on without looking silly. Gotta have a pink bic, by the way, always. Will it? Let's pop this on before it burns my fingers. Oh, a bit tricky, a bit tricky. What we're doing here, what we're doing, Chris. That's it, it's on. Blooming? Yeah, it's blooming now. That's a lot quicker. Start. Pop this on. Bit more aggressive, this Evernew. Fizzles and pops. I don't know if you can hear that because the mic's facing me. Let me just move this around so you can see. There we go. I'm going 424. Let's see if you can shave a minute off. We're going to turn the light out at a minute and let's see if you can actually see the difference. That looks pretty. Oh no. My titanium's changing colour. Rubbish for frying stuff on. Great for looking pretty when it's got hot. Right, we're rolling up on 424. I've not had a peek. Just started to make the same noise as it did just before it boiled last time. Watch myself because it's a bit warmer. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's hot. Right, let's go and grab a glove. That lid's a lot hotter than the last time. We've lost the handle. You see there's a lot of extra flames moving around the side. 4:30, is it going to knock any time off? I'd have liked it to have knocked a minute off, not done that. It's boiling now, it's boiling, that's boiling. That's boiling, take it off for 5 minutes. It's not took as much time off as I hoped, but then you've got to remember, in essence, it's just a stand. The Trangia had a stand, and that didn't help it out, did it? 30 seconds for the sake of a stand. I think that's pretty good going. It's certainly very, very hot. It got the handles hotter. It's got everything hotter. These are all stone cold when they started. I mentioned you've got to have the Trangia with at least a cross stand or some other stove stand and a windshield. This is my current setup. This is going to weigh 245 grams, just to have it burn and not have the wind affect it. I've yet to try the titanium Evernew and the DX stand in the wind, but if it holds up anywhere near it has as well as it has done today, get your words out, Chris, I'm hopeful. For 92 grams. 92 grams versus that. The big test is, does it go in the pot? And then we pop it in here. Does it fit? Oh yes, in the totes, 550. Let's see what the combined weight of that is out of interest. 162 grams. Oh, nearly forgot. Purple mini bic. You can go bushcrafty and flint and steel it or Faro rod it, but pink bic is where it's at. I've got to test it over time, see how it bears up, just for boiling. It's going to have some of the drawbacks. The fact that it's not got a lid, it's not got a snuff. You can't really do the simmering on it, but to me, I'm very, very impressed. Let me know your experiences. Have you had a Evernew titanium and gone back to the Trangia? Have you had a cheaper model? Did it not work? I'm led to believe these have got the same sort of wicking system as the Trangias, whereas the fake ones don't, so they don't burn quite as efficiently. But I'm pretty impressed. Have a look at some of the other videos, there's more to follow. Give me a like and a subscribe. You never know what you're going to find out, and hopefully we'll do some more and even suggest some ideas to me. See you in the next one.